It's Monday, October 14th. Right now on 12 News at 10.
I'm Bianca Bono outside Maricopa County Superior Court, where Cujo Young, the man accused of robbing Mercedes Vega at gunpoint, appeared before a judge.
A big pattern shift this week. We're saying goodbye to the 100s, hello to the double digits, along with some wind and rain chances.
I'm Chase Golightly in Scottsdale, where taxpayers will have to pay tens of millions of dollars for a new construction project. We'll tell you just how much coming up.
And NASA's latest mission is up in space, but back here on Earth, we're hearing from the ASU scientists who played a major role in getting it off the ground.
Could this moon actually be an abode for life?
12 News at 10 with Mark Curtis and Caribe Divine starts now.
And we begin tonight in Maricopa County Court, where a man accused of robbing or trying to rob multiple women at gunpoint appeared before a judge this morning.
Cujo Young is charged with targeting dancers from the same gentleman's club back in 2020, following them home and then pointing a gun at them while demanding that the women give him their money. Good evening and thanks so much for joining us for 12 News at 10. I'm Caribe Divine.
I'm Mark Curtis. One of the alleged victims, Mercedes Vega, was murdered last year and her case remains unsolved. 12 News journalist Bianca Bono has been following the case and reports tonight from Maricopa County Superior Court.
Not only is Mercedes Vega's family still waiting for an arrest for her murder, they're also seeking justice for another crime that Mercedes faced before she was killed, an armed robbery, and it's a case that's been delayed for years. Saturday marked 4 years since Mercedes Vega was robbed at gunpoint. Vega, 19 years old at the time, was on her way home from work when a masked man pointed a gun at her, demanding she give him her phone, keys, and money. He had followed her home.
She was horrified and terrorized.
A month later, one of Vega's colleagues was attacked in the same way, and police arrested Cujo Young, linking him to both crimes. 4 years later, his case is still making its way through the court system.
I'm just hoping for the most punishment that we can get.
Erica Pillsbury is Vega's mother, and she sat in the courtroom during Monday's hearing. He's changed attorneys multiple times, leading to delays. He appeared before a judge with his newest lawyer, where attorneys discussed a possible plea agreement.
Recently, defense counsel has presented an offer that suggests defendant is at least headed in the direction of a possible resolution.
Vega's mom watched on her daughter's behalf because less than 3 years after the armed robbery, Vega was murdered, and her death remains unsolved.
Mercedes was very loved and very important, and we miss her very, very much. She deserves justice.
The Maricopa County Sheriff's Office has declined to comment on a possible connection between the robbery and murder cases. Young was out of custody wearing an ankle monitor at the time Vega was killed. Pillsbury has grown frustrated with a lack of answers. But just last week, finally, a positive update from sheriff's investigators.
There was actually some confidence behind what he was saying. Obviously not a date or who or anything like that, but we know that they are working on it, and I could hear that confidence in their voice that we're going to get there.
As she waits for justice for her daughter's death, she's advocating for justice for what happened to her while she was still alive.
It's time for a conclusion to this.
Scottsdale police are investigating a very similar armed robbery case that happened back in 2019 involving another one of Vega's former colleagues to see if it's connected in any way. If no plea agreement is reached in Young's case by Thanksgiving, the case is set to go to trial in January. We're in Phoenix. Bianca Bono, 12 News.
All right, Bianca, thank you. Developing tonight in the West Valley, a man is dead after being shot in a restaurant parking lot in Avondale. Officers responded to the #1 buffet near 99th Avenue and McDowell Road just before 1 p.m. today. Police say that the man was pronounced dead at the scene. Nearby schools were placed on lockdown just as a precaution. Detectives are still investigating and are still actively looking for a suspect. They have not released any details on who they're looking for. Stay with 12 News for for more updates.
Okay, now to the woman of the hour, the mamacita of meteorology. Yeah, we broke another record today, but it's all Lindsay Riley about to come to an end.
Yes, it is coming to an end. Finally. We have waited long enough. Triple-digit temperatures coming to an end after today. And today could have been our last 100-degree day of the year, but it was the 21st day of records in a row. That is unprecedented, but we break the trend tomorrow. We topped out at 103 this afternoon, beating the old 2020 record by 3 degrees. Average right now is 90, so we were 13 degrees above that. Starting tomorrow, back to double-digit highs, 96 degrees Tuesday, Wednesday, and then some 80s moving in. And by Saturday, the high is going to be 80 degrees. They'll feel a little bit of a chill in the air. The whole pattern is going to shift. High pressure that's been keeping us dry and sunny and hot is moving out. We're going to be tracking an area of low pressure and some rain chances. Friday into Saturday, over ½ of an inch of rain possible up in the high country. And we're also looking at rain chances here in the valley. So we'll time that out hour by hour, looking ahead to the rain event coming up in my full forecast. Mark?
Okay, Linz, thanks. Looking ahead, a Flagstaff man will be sentenced tomorrow for the murder of his wife. Daniel Pappowski was arrested for the murder of his wife, Kelly, back in June after he reported her missing. He agreed to a plea deal in July, pleading guilty to second-degree murder, tampering with physical evidence, tampering with a dead body, and possession of dangerous drugs. As part of the deal, Pappowski told investigators where his wife was, along with her phone, her car keys, and the murder weapon. He could get up to 16 years.
New at 10, controversy surrounding a roundabout in North Scottsdale. A city council member says that they are already tens of millions of dollars over budget for the project. 12 News journalist Chase Golightly is joining us now in Scottsdale with the details. And Chase, they're already tens of millions over budget. How much more is this thing going to cost?
Well, Carrie, in total, all this will cost $43 million, way higher than what the city originally thought they were going to pay for. And now that city council member says other projects that were already planned may suffer because of it.
Scottsdale Road, just north of the 101, is about to go through some big changes. And it's also going to come with a big price tag.
It's very concerning.
Scottsdale Vice Mayor Barry Graham is talking about a roundabout that will replace the intersection at Dynamite Boulevard. He says it's been in the works since 2019, where the city was originally told it was going to cost $13 million. Then last month, the city learned that price tag increased to $43 million.
3 times over budget. That's a 215% increase.
We're told the increase is due to inflation and the city having to buy up more land for the project. Graham and another city council member voted against it, but it still passed.
That means that other projects are going to be deferred, if not canceled, because there's only so much.
Now the project is more than just a roundabout. 2 miles of Scottsdale Road will also go through major safety changes, including culverts to prevent street flooding, which is a problem here. It's part of Scottsdale's master transportation plan, where they are working on expanding several streets to relieve traffic congestion.
I think it needs to be broadened because there's too much traffic on the road,
which people who take this road every day support.
It's very congested, especially during morning and evening hours.
But for $43 million,
I hate when it goes over budget.
Seems a little insane to me.
Graham also pointed out that the city did receive a federal grant of $31 million, which will cover a majority of the cost. Still, he thinks that money should have been spent elsewhere.
It's all our tax dollars, so we got to spend it wisely.
Construction will begin starting next month, and a city spokesperson told me that it should be completed by sometime in 2026. We're live in Scottsdale tonight. Chase Golightly, 12 News.
All right, Chase, thank you. And as we continue our coverage of Decision 2024, we're inviting every candidate for federal office to come on the air for an interview. Well, earlier today, Republican Senate candidate Carrie Lake stopped by the 12 News studios and sat down with Troy Hayden. On the topic of abortion, Lake said that she voted no on Prop 139, adding that she supports the abortion law currently on the books. Here's a look at some of that conversation where Lake lays out her stance on the issue.
This is an issue for us right here in Arizona. I want Arizonans to decide. And if Arizonans decide that that proposition is what they want, as your U.S. Senator, I will respect that fully. And as your U.S. Senator, I will not push for a federal abortion ban. But I will push for pro-family legislation. You know, 60% of women who have an abortion say that if they would have had a little bit of financial help or a little bit of emotional help, they would have kept their baby. If that's the case, then we're failing as a society. Why aren't we giving women more help, giving them more options? So I want to work on that. Because we all know, I mean, you're a father, I'm a mother. It's a real beautiful gift, but I hate the thought of anybody walking in to an abortion clinic choosing that because they can't afford their baby. And in Ruben Gallego's economy, it's harder and harder to support just feeding yourself, let alone a family.
You can watch the entire interview on 12news.com or by going to our 12 News YouTube channel. We've also invited Carrie Lake's opponent in the Senate race, Ruben Gallego, to our 12 News studios for an interview. We'll let you know once that's confirmed. Meanwhile, another big name is headed to Arizona for a campaign event this week. Former President Barack Obama will be in Tucson Friday to rally for Vice President Harris. We're still waiting for more details. Be sure and stay with 12 News and 12news.com for the latest updates.